Did you guys hear what came out with DeSantis yesterday?
No.
Did you see the article with Bloomberg? I just sent it to you. Pull it up. I emailed it to you. So this article came out yesterday from Bloomberg talking about who is supporting DeSantis for 2022, potentially 2024, him against Trump 2024. Obviously, he talked yesterday that he's running again for, 2022 governor.
Florida.
But watch this. So Wall Street publicly, they're finally making it obvious who they're supporting for 2024 if a Republican ran. Pull up the article, Kai. I just sent you a Bloomberg article. Take a look at this. So this is Wall Street helps Ron DeSantis amass a hefty war chest for 2022. Wall Street, okay? Florida's governor has raked in millions from donors like Ken Griffin and Thomas Peterfy, who calls DeSantis his favorite man.
That's
okay,
pretty
43 years old. When it comes to likely Republican president candidate in 2024, Wall Street voting, DeSantis, not former Donald Trump, who's been teasing another run at the White House. A fifth of the $55 million that DeSantis has raised this year came from hedge fund billionaires, private equity bankers, investment managers, or other finance industry donors. Trump, who got less than 2% of his 2020 re-election fund from Wall Street, has raised a bulk of $100 million war chest from small donors. Now go a little lower. Check this out. This is the breakdown. Black DeSantis, blue Trump donors. 18.6% from securities and investment industry versus 1.9.
10 to 1.
By the way, that's not
shocking.
small. Okay?
That is shocking.
Did you see this or no?
I have not seen this.
Okay.
This is actually
so
impressive.
10 to 1, right?
Republican conservatives, 12.6 versus 3.6.
4 to 1.
Real estate, his industry,
3 to
3 times, 9-3 to 3-2. But retired Republican 24-2, DeSantis, Trump 24-2, DeSantis 8-2. Lawyers and law firms, nearly 4 times, 2.5%.
Okay, I'm sorry, but here's a trick.
This ought to tell you a lot. By the way,
what does this tell you exactly?
Tells you a lot. Tells you that even
Yes.
even Wall Street is okay with DeSantis being a president, but they would much rather have him over Trump.
And how many of his ideas are totally different from Trump's?
Not much. But do you remember when I asked you
how much
questions?
is his personality?
Wait.
Yeah.
I have a trick question. I have one more trick
Let's
question
hear
for
it.
Adam.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Oh,
Who?
sure, I won't get it right.
Oh my gosh! Don't do it. You're challenging. It's too early in the morning.
Don't hurt my ego here.
Who donated to both of Kamala Harris's campaigns? Who donated to both of Hillary Clinton's campaigns?
Yeah,
and who signed paying people to not work into law?
Donald J. Trump.
Thank you.
So I got it right?
Have you noticed that Republican conservatives and people in securities, he's the one who signed the damn bill.
Yeah.
He's the one who got
much did
Americans
the
hooked on
federal
not
debt
working
go up
because
under
he's
Trump?
a New York Democrat, which they
Yes.
get. The guys in New York who are in Palm Beach now, whatever, they understand. They know who he is and remains, which is a New York Democrat.
You're talking about
and
Trump.
they're not plugged into Newsmax 24/7 like the retirees. They think for themselves.
I think there's a typo here. I honestly think it's a typo. Data, Florida Division of Election and Center for Responsive Politics. I think that's supposed to be responsible.
Oh, I don't know.
BizDoc pointing out the small print. Way to go, BizDoc.
But going back
We're no
to
longer
this,
responsible.
going back to
I
this,
like responsive.
going back to this. Here's where I go with this.
This is interesting.
This is why I asked Rogan. I said, Rogan, go to 2024, go to 2022 when Republicans start running for presidency. Okay. Who's going to be on that stage? I said, is Trump going to be on that stage? He said, yes.
Yeah.
Is DeSantis going to be on that stage?
Yeah.
Yes. I said, is Pence going to be on that stage? He says, I don't think so.
He said he didn't think so, right?
No.
Pence.
Then we talk about what? Nikki Haley, all these
Haley,
other guys, right? Okay.
Tucker.
And I said
He didn't
Tucker,
see
he didn't
Tucker.
think Tucker, right? But Tucker was fifth, 1%.
I don't see
They had-
Tucker
Okay,
either.
I don't see because he's got a good life. Why would you do it? So you go through a lot of these guys that you look at. Okay. A lot of people are saying a Trump DeSantis ticket. Trump DeSantis ticket, right? Trump DeSantis ticket. I don't think DeSantis does it. It's not that the Republicans may not like that or, that may not work.
Yeah, that's sitting on DeSantis' mirror right now. He printed out the chart, and it's sitting on his mirror right now. When he's shaving, he's looking at it.
Here's what my concern is. You ready? Here's my biggest concern. My biggest concern is that 2022, 2023, remember when I said this is a big concern of mine. My concern is when these guys are on stage and Trump starts, let's just say DeSantis takes the lead, and those polls come out, and Trump goes to try to destroy DeSantis, the party starts going at it against each other. There could be a lot of conflict there if that takes place. I don't see Trump saying, yes, DeSantis is the face. You go ahead and do it. I can't see that happening.
Okay.
Not even close.
But in order for your scenario to
Yeah.
play out, don't you think that the Democrats would have to retain the Senate and Congress in 2022? I mean, if there's a bloodbath in 2022 in the midterm elections,
Yeah.
and
Which is normal.
the which is very normal, and because they're pissed off about the
Not only
$3.5
it's
trillion
normal, it's poised to be that.
but it's poised to be.
If you look in history,
biblical.
it's practically
Yeah.
a
It's
tradition.
poised to be.
course.
I mean, Pelosi's got what three seats in Congress, swing factor for her votes,
Yeah.
and you just need one in the Senate. One.
I don't know if people are tired of listening to Pelosi. I think people want a little bit more of Pelosi. It's very pleasant when you listen to her.
God help us all.
Yeah.
All I'm saying
Thank you,
is,
Patrick. Thank
all I'm
you so
saying is,
much.
your scenario does not necessarily have to play out if 2022 is a bloodbath and Republicans start to push back and legislate for the people and work with Joe Manchin and cross the aisle and be more like Clinton and be
And then-
more
so
like
where are you going with this?
Reagan.
Where are you
I'm
going with
saying that there is a shot. There's a shot in hell that if the midterms are bloody enough,
Yeah.
that the Republicans take Congress back, that there are enough moderates emerging in the Democratic Party that we might actually be able to legislate in America again, which we haven't done for a long time.
You bring up a really good point, and if you know your history, and if you don't, I'll share some.
But what happens with 2024, though? What does that have to do with 2024 with DeSantis and Trump?
It has to do with uniting the country. And people saying, I don't want somebody who wants to divide us. Now that I've started to see what united
So
can look like,
are you-
our Congress is actually working for we the people. Finally, for the first time in a millennial's lifetime, there might be a functional Congress.
So are you saying we won't want, like the American people are not going to want a Trump as a candidate? Is that what you're saying?
The American people, if they start to really, because Joe Biden said he was going to unite the country, he's torn it further apart than it was before. Americans,
Earmuffs, bud. But go ahead.
if there is a means by which to truly unite this country, if there is, then Americans will not vote for somebody who they know is going to divide it. That's all I'm saying. Hell,
And you're
Joe-
saying that that's what Trump would do. Is that what you're saying?
that is and has been his strategy. I mean, does a tiger's stripe change?
Not when he's 78 years old.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, look, again, I think we need a young, inspiring, dynamic, energetic, out-of-the-box thinker in the White House. Not somebody that you're worried is going to keel over or can't even do, an interview with George Stephanopoulos or corrects a CNN reporter. That's not the question you were supposed to be asking me. You were supposed to ask me this question, and therefore this is my answer.
Well, let me ask you
did
this.
the United States president really just correct a CNN reporter because his press conferences are staged events?
Let me ask you this. Remember when Hillary was going against Sanders? Remember Hillary Sanders? I'm talking 2015, right?
Yeah.
Hillary Sanders are going back and forth. Do you really think at the end, Sanders, when he asked his people to support Hillary, do you think they did? Like, do you think they actually went and supported Hillary? Do you think they did?
Not
No.
wildly.
Okay.
Statistically, they just got quiet.
That's what I'm saying.
They just got quiet.
So,
Yeah.
guys, here's where I'm going. So go to a situation.
Do you think Republicans in Georgia voted for Republican senators? Or do you think that they listened to
Yeah.
Trump, who said, if you don't give me those 11,983 votes, I'm going to tell my people to vote negative? On tape, that's a quote.
Yeah. So again, this is where I'm going with this, though. My question is, so go there, and DeSantis is the lead, okay? Do you see Trump going out there and asking MAGA to support DeSantis?
I don't know if I see that, but I do know that he understands numbers.
Oh, no, I get he understands. Oh, of course he wouldn't be a billionaire if he didn't understand numbers. Here's
Well,
the-
I think it's questionable that he's a billionaire, but that's a different discussion for a different day.
Listen, let's just say he is or he's not. You fly a 757 or 767 for 30 years.
He
the
lives-
gas is $12,000 a freaking hour. I mean, that argument has
Yes.
been done with. So
Yes.
he's rich. We're not
He's
going to
rich.
argue
He's
the rich
wealthy.
part. Yeah. So, but going back to that, do you foresee him getting up there and saying, "Hey, look, I conceded. I talked to DeSantis. He's the right candidate, and I'm asking MAGA, we got to help this man get
Not
elected
even
because
close.
it's
If he's-
about taking Biden out." Do you think
0%.
Trump does that?
If he's sincere. Remember, he was caught on tape saying, if you break the law and
Yeah.
fraudulently give me votes in Georgia, I will make sure that my people elect those 2 senators, and Mitch McConnell will not lose the majority position.
Are you saying he won't do that?
I'm saying if he's sincere about it, his
But,
people will follow
that's
him.
not the question.
Why would
though. That's
No,
not the
no.
question.
why would
Do you-
Donald Trump
if he's
give 2 shits about Ron DeSantis? Think about it. Ron DeSantis.
So I'm asking you guys. I don't
Why
have
would
the
he
answer.
even
I'm
give
asking
2
you.
shits
Yeah.
about Ron DeSantis? Other than the fact that Ron DeSantis has become a superstar since Florida has become the new haven of America, other than Texas.
'Cause you can
Ron
ru-
DeSantis
you
was
can
a
run people
nobody under
over in
Trump.
this state.
Okay,
So-
he didn't like.
But
He's
Patrick,
a
but
mini
that's-
Trump,
but
and he
that's-
shot up.
But that's my
He
point.
shot up to stardom.
If he
Trump
means
could
it.
give
Maybe-
2 shits about DeSantis
Let me give
unless
a different
it was his
analogy.
VP.
Let me give a different analogy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Magic Johnson is the face of the league. Michael Jordan shows up. Magic's got 5 championships. Michael's got 0. 1992 Dream Team. Michael's got 1. Magic's got 5. Larry tells Magic after he kicks their ass, he says what? It's no longer our league. It's his league. Okay? So I felt like I saw Jesus playing basketball. And Magic concedes and says it's Michael's league, right? Michael plays. He's crushing everybody. Kobe shows up. Michael says, I respect this guy. Kobe wins 3 championships, right? Michael says it's not Kobe's league, right? Kobe, then LeBron, okay? Meaning, it's not easy to give it to the next guy. Michael's had a hard time giving it to LeBron. He gives him credit, but he doesn't say, this guy. Do you think Trump's a guy that's going to do that? So here's the other part I go. Here's the other part I go with this. Okay, you're not thinking he does that.
I don't
Look,
think he
what-
does.
Okay, so then let me ask the follow-up question to that.
Wait. But
Yeah.
what you're describing in one word,
Yeah.
I would
is-
hope he does, but I don't think he does.
What you're asking us in one word
Yeah.
is, does Trump have it in him to be humble?
Or have humility.
Have humility.
Not
you're,
happen.
you're describing humility. That's what you're describing. Because you're talking about these great legends of basketball who said, with all humility, I hand over.
I don't think
I
anybody
hand over
would
the
say it's
king.
Michael
Yeah, well,
Jordan has
the
humility.
difference is physical limitations start
Yeah.
to wane when you're in your mid-30s, right?
Yeah.
So Jordan had just beaten Magic.
Yeah.
Jordan had just retired. Now he's back with the Wizards. Physically, they couldn't keep up.
Yeah.
Trump could keep going. Like,
He can keep up,
He
yeah.
could keep up physically. He can get up there and talk for hours.
So let me ask the other question. Let me ask the other question
Yeah.
for you. So here's the other question for you. You know how sometimes you can, you think you need, like, for example, somebody said, well, Patrick, why'd you say that to Arnold? You know that's the interview you want to do. It's not. If Arnold wants to come on, great. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Freedom is way important to me than me interviewing Arnold. It's not like, oh my gosh, he's never going to interview. I'm totally okay with that. I support freedom. You said screw your freedom. I support freedom. That's where I'm at, right? Okay. Do you think DeSantis needs MAGA to win?
yes.
Okay, so now that's a second problem.
Yes.
So I don't disagree with you, okay? So I think he does, but here's the other part. Take MAGA. Okay, in MAGA's mind, who do you think's going to win in 2024?
I think MAGA has, I'm not even being facetious,
Yeah.
has pledged their loyalty to Donald J. Trump.
Fair. That's fine. I don't dispute that. They think 2020 he won, right? And now
They still think he won, exactly.
So this is not like we're not convincing each other. So
Yeah.
2020, there's certain Trump's going to run and Trump's going to win, is what
Yes,
they think.
I would assume
and
that's
MAGA
what MAGA
would
thinks.
prefer to have Trump over DeSantis.
It's not even close.
But here's my question, and
Yes.
this is the part where I see it slightly different than you do, and this is where I see it slightly different than you do. I think, is there a dramatic difference between Sanders and Hillary?
Yeah.
Dramatic, yes or no?
Pretty dramatic.
Is
yes.
there a dramatic difference between Sanders and Biden?
Well, Sanders and anyone is dramatic, yeah.
No,
Very,
but
very,
that's
very, very.
dramatic, right?
Yes.
Okay, is there a dramatic difference between, a McCain and a who did McCain take out? McCain took out who at that? Was it Romney?
Jeb Bush at the time?
Jeb Bush. Okay, is there a dramatic difference between McCain and Jeb Bush?
No.
No.
Okay, is there a
actually.
dramatic difference between Romney and Jeb Bush?
No.
Very, very subtle,
No.
but
Yeah.
basically no.
Is
Those are
there a
Reagan
dramatic
Republicans.
difference in policies between DeSantis and Trump?
Not dramatic.
That's why I
dramatic.
think MAGA will support.
I
I
agree.
think MAGA will support. I think MAGA will support.
If
because,
if what?
no, I think if DeSantis becomes the nominee, I think MAGA's going to
If
support.
Trump is in the picture, DeSantis is not going to be the nominee. If Republicans, if the 78 million people who voted Republican
there are a lot of
had their
billionaires
choice,
who humbly disagree with you.
How many?
the billionaires do. The
bro,
Wall
let me,
Street
let me ask
does.
you a question. Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do
you
you
saying that
think
because you-
do you think private equity and hedge fund people give you money before having a meeting with you?
More often times, no.
No, hell no. What
do you mean more often?
Do you not think the meeting's already been had with DeSantis that nobody knows because you know what question they're asking? Do you not think
Yes.
those guys with the money, you think they sit there and, we got something on Valuetainment Investment Group, somebody last night, Tom and I are at the house at like midnight. One guy sends them money, they want money from us. He says, hey, my idea is I'm running a mortgage company. I want $200,000 to help me in my business. Here's my routing number, account number. Please send me the $200,000. Yeah, of course. Send him the money right now. Okay.
It's in the mail.
But do you think
it was the Twitter business plan, 140 characters.
Do you think money people just sit there and say,
Yeah, but
DeSantis,
they didn't say. They didn't differentiate whether he's running for governor or for president, though.
No.
He's definitely running for governor.
No,
of Florida.
I'm sorry. No, it's Trump against DeSantis money.
Okay.
It's Trump against that. That was to compare blue and black money. Black DeSantis, blue. They're not saying this without having had the conversation. So the conversation you're going to have with DeSantis, knowing how DeSantis is, do you think he said he's running 2024? Do you think
I don't
behind
think
closed,
he guaranteed anything.
I agree with you. But
Yeah.
do you think DeSantis knows how to speak sign language? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oink.
Do you
That
think
whole
DeSantis
thing?
knows how to say, what do you say when you say, hey, the season's over, Peyton, are you going to be retiring? What's this famous speech? Well, I'm going to go spend some time with the family and figure out what we're going to
gonna
do.
have
And then
deep
probably
discussions,
within the
yeah.
next few weeks after the dust is settled, we're probably going to make a decision and see what we're
Yeah.
going to do with retirement, right? That whole bullshit speech that everybody has memorized. You and I can do it. We don't even play in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
So they ask DeSantis, DeSantis, are you running for office? He's going to say, I'm very happy right now being the governor of Florida. We're doing a great job. We still have a lot of work to do.
I'm here to
We
serve
have
the people that I
here-
voted,
That's right. I'm
elected to
very
serve.
happy with what we're doing. We still got some progress
he's
that we're
reading the
making.
script.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
But he says, but if America needs me, I would certainly
Oh,
consider
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's so to me, money guys are sitting there saying, yep. And I think MAGA would love because listen, 40 years from now, you're going to be 80.
Jesus.
Okay?
I'll be running against Chuck Grassley. He'll still be freaking running.
I'm sorry, but can we have a moment of silence so that Adam can acclimate that thought?
What the hell's going on around here?
It's like the Kevin Hart when he sat against what's the actor? He says, I'm 56 years old. Damn.
Don Cheadle.
Hilarious, right? He says, damn. But 40 years from now, you're 80. Okay?
Jesus.
Well, here's what's going to happen.
He's still in shock.
Do you not think we're going to sit there and your kids, 20-year-olds are going to ask questions. They're going to say, man, how was this Trump guy? And you're going to have 100 stories per one story for Biden. Because what we're experiencing right now is going to be written about 1,000 years from now. Appreciate the fact that we had a president, Donald J. Trump, because there's never been a person more entertaining than this.
I don't know why you need to say appreciate.
But you have to, though. Let me
That's like
explain.
saying I really like Krusty the
No,
Clown
but-
from The Simpsons.
Nah,
He's got crazy stories.
big difference.
But it doesn't like I
No.
want him to be my president.
There's a big difference between Krusty the Clown and a guy that made it in business. He won in TV, women, party, shadow of his father.
If he wants
won
to
in
be a
many-
reality star,
his
I'm with you.
kids
It's
are
fun.
winning.
Yeah.
His kids are doing good
I'm
in their
with you.
lives. He is won at the highest level, no matter how much shit everybody talks. I'm not here supporting the guy.
Yeah.
I'm supporting the man that has won, even though he had so much criticism against him for 40, 50 years. And back in the 80s, he told Oprah, if America needs, I would run and I would win because I'm a winner. And he won.
He read that
and
script.
Obama said, you're never going to be a president. And he proved him wrong. At a dinner, $100,000 dinner table there, and Obama talked shit about him.
But he's
2
not
years-
a glue guy,
Well,
Pat.
it's not, I didn't say he's a glue guy. What I'm telling you is you're going to appreciate the fact that you watched the last 4 or 5 years. This you will talk about. Whether you like him or not, it's going to happen, right? It's like talking about Churchill when he was hated, but fast forward how many years later, everybody's writing about the guy and how many books have been written about this guy. This is where I'm going with this. Do you think he can be the nominee?
Who?
Trump. If DeSantis and him run, can Trump be the nominee? Can Republicans
Without a doubt. What do
Can
you-
Republicans get behind Trump?
What? Of course.
Do you think Republicans can get behind Trump?
No, I think the moderate middle. I think that moderate 10% has
Yep.
been lost.
Where are you at?
Yeah, I have to agree.
Kai, what are you thinking from your standpoint as a 22-year-old going on 75? What do you think about this?
88.
I'm sorry.
Time flies.
Time flies.
No, I think that even for DeSantis, even without Trump's official endorsement,
Yeah.
I think that he could pull away a large chunk of the MAGA crowd just because of his policies and his personality is less
Yeah.
kind of on the extreme
Yeah.
on that end. So I think there's a large part of people, even possibly like people like Adam, where they're disgust for him. They won't vote just because of that, but based off of policies, they're more willing to lean that way. So I think he could even draw more votes from the left as well in terms of his reasonable approach.
He's already
and stuff
said
like
if DeSantis runs, he would vote for him.
yeah. So
I would vote for
So I think-
DeSantis over Biden. I would. I would vote. I wouldn't vote for Donald Trump again. We've already seen what he's done for the 4 years. He doesn't bring the country
Well, I mean,
together.
Biden's crushing it. So if
I'm not
you
even saying
set the
Biden
two
is that
together,
good.
Biden's like the GOAT.
I'm
you
not
know?
even saying it's not a binary option.
It is,
That's
it is a binary option at that point.
no,
though,
if you,
because-
it's not a binary. You could do a Joe Rogan and vote for Joe Jorgensen and waste
Yeah,
your
but
vote.
you're not- there's
But
no
the
impact
point
with
is-
that. Like
the
I
point
told
is,
Joe, you're voted in.
Danielle hit the nail on the head. We need somebody young, vibrant, who can get this freaking country
the
together.
conversations. That's not the talk.
But that
That's,
is.
no,
It
it's
is the
not.
talk,
No,
That's
it's
the talk.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
It
That's
is the point. You
those,
said
those
it
are
was the
three
point.
different topics.
You said that Black
I
Lives.
asked, no,
you said
on
that
this,
MAGA and
on
Black
this
Lives
topic,
Matters are coming
on
together
this
to
topic.
protest.
Let me
I
paint a
get it.
picture for you, Pat.
I asked a question
Yes.
for you, sweetheart. I said, if
my.
I
my
said,
leg.
if can Trump win as a nominee? You said, of course.
Can you win the
Republican?
Yes,
can, okay.
yes, yes.
Then I said, if your choice is Republican, Biden. You said what? You're still going to go Biden?
If what?
If it's Trump and Biden, you're going to go Biden?
I don't want Trump again. I
Okay.
just don't want him.
So
Let's move on. Let's get a DeSantis in there. Let's get a Marco Rubio
You're
in
not
there.
hearing the question here. Let me ask the
Yes.
question one more time.
I have the same answer. I don't want Trump around.
So who would you vote for? Biden again?
Joe Jorgensen.
So you wouldn't vote for?
I don't want Trump, and either does 60% of the
but
country.
Your answer is a good answer.
Yes.
So you're saying you're not going to do Biden or Trump. You're going to go somebody else.
Yes.
Okay, fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. So for you, what you're saying is my vote's not going to count. I don't give a shit if my vote counts. I'm irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go without Biden or
And
without
dude,
Trump.
you talked about this with Rogan. We're like, I know you were kind of being facetious. You're like, yo, and Rogan, one of the greatest presidents ever. He got 80 million votes more. And he even said, look, they were not voting for Biden. They were voting against Trump. And that's a problem for Trump. And it's someone like a DeSantis. Someone like a DeSantis would get people to vote
I'm
for
logical
him.
enough to know.
Yeah.
I'm logical enough to know where you can set aside the emotions and know if there is no anybody that was president,
Mm-hmm.
take any president in the last 45 of them,
Clinton,
give them COVID. Do they get reelected?
give them COVID.
Any president we've ever had, give them COVID. Do they get reelected?
Likely not.
Okay, then. This is not a Trump thing. Now, let me ask you this. Take COVID out. Does Trump get reelected?
Likely yes.
Likely, yes. So this isn't about the fact that people didn't want Trump.
Yeah, but
no,
that's
you
like
keep-
saying pretend COVID
No,
didn't
no, no.
exist,
You're
but
not,
it's here.
No, but this is not the point, though. We're talking logic here. People voted against him because they wanted to see somebody else handle COVID differently, not because they didn't want Trump. These are two different arguments here.
correct.
So these are two different
I-
arguments.
They also
I'm
think he
gonna-
handled COVID poorly.
That's okay, though. What I'm trying to tell you
I'm
is-
going to push back because
Yeah.
he was not fiscally conservative. He wasn't.
Yeah, but American
wanted-
people didn't want a Ted Cruz. You're right.
I get it, but what I'm saying is it wasn't. What I'm saying is for a lot of very conservative people, COVID did not play into their decision as to whether they did or did not want to reelect Trump. That's all I'm saying. There were other factors at play.
But that's not. Yeah, you're talking the
I
exception.
mean, this is the
though.
guy
I'm
who
not-
created Operation
You're-
Warp Speed
you're
that set
talking-
the standard for the entire world.
That's an exception. Yeah, but he also had the audacity to go against the number one enemy, while all the presidents last 20 years have been shitting bricks going up against China, and they allowed him to get stronger. So this is not a Republican Democratic thing. I'm sorry. We're sitting here right now, and China's, pushing everybody around. They're charging $16,000 per container. That was $2,000 a year ago. That's coming here from Shanghai, and FedEx.
40.
It was 2,000 last year.
40,000.
It was 2 last year. Now it's
I know.
40. So FedEx, Nike, all of these guys are coming out saying we have to raise prices. Yeah, you think that's going to happen under Trump when he faced off against him? You think Trump would say, charge 40,000 again, see what I do to you? What is Biden doing? Biden's saying, keep it at 40, keep it at 16. I'm sorry. So if our number one enemy is China and the president is not willing to go up against him, no. So I'm not sitting here. This is not a throwing a Trump under the bus situation here.
I'm
This
not
is
disagreeing
to
with you on
Trump's-
China
To Trump's
at all.
credit,
Yeah.
this is you're going to be shocked. To Trump's credit, Biden has upheld everything Trump has been doing with China. He's basically saying you were handling it right.
Okay, are you serious about that comment you just made?
Yeah.
Really?
You're serious about the comment you just made.
What's
going on
it
with the border
at?
right now? What's going on with the border
I
right
said
now?
China.
No, China's one. No.
I said
stop.
China.
No, stop. Let me ask you this question here. 2,000 a year and a half ago, container. 16,000. She says 40. I'm going to stick to 16,000. That's 8 times.
one
hang on.
thing.
No, hang on a second, bro. What do you mean that's one thing? 16,000. Go to a Rolex shop. They have one Rolex for sale. How come we don't have Rolexes? They ain't making them. Go to cars right now. How much prices are up right now? Go what's going on with cars today. Try finding chip shortages. What the hell is going on with chip shortages? What is going on with chip shortages? Why? Because
You think that just
Chips are
happened under
constrained
Biden over the
cars,
last 6 months?
We're relying on a country called China. He would put his foot down. Biden's not putting his foot down with China.
What has Biden done differently on China? What has he done differently?
I just told you 2 to 16,000.
Yeah, but the chip shortage, Pat, was been going on for 2 years now.
Trump would have done something about that.
He had the opportunity to.
Oh, and he
I
did.
interviewed
And he-
Danielle, and
and
she
he-
said something to the fact that Trump was focusing on soybeans rather than semiconductors. Did you not?
I said exactly that. And
Okay.
right now, but to Patrick's point, Biden's not incrementally doing this while China is conducting economic warfare against the United States.
So
Exactly
open
right.
economic
So
warfare.
for me, here's where I'm going with this. To say American people didn't want Trump because they didn't want Trump is a bunch of crock of shit. Okay, 52% wanted this guy. Okay,
Okay.
so no, he won and he beat Hillary, and Hillary was like the president
You're saying in 16.
Bro, what are you talking about? People wanted this guy and everything.
16.
Everything he said he did. Everything he did, he said he did. Everything. Taxes went lower. Economy went higher. Unemployment, blacks, Hispanics, Latino women. Everything went. Every crime went up.
Our debt went up $7 trillion.
ISIS went lower. Not $7 trillion. It went up because of his last 12 months. You keep saying something like that.
No, but how much did it go up under Trump?
It was the last 12 months under COVID when he did stimulus. Yes, it did go up, but because they had no choice at that
that was
time.
only a couple trillion at that point.
No.
Give me some numbers, Danielle.
No, I still, and again, this is where I push back. You only get to train Americans to not want to work one time. And that $600 extra a week, I understand that we were in the middle of a crisis, but it didn't have to be $600.
Well, first of all, Danielle, are you kidding me with these comments you guys are making? You guys are smarter than me here, both of you guys.
No.
Are you kidding me with these comments you guys are making?
What? No.
Let me
wait.
push back a little bit right now. Let me push back a little bit. What are we
It's-
talking about?
We're talking about somebody signing socialism into law
Guys,
in the United States.
What was his choice, though? Tell me what he does.
He could have said
Tell me what he
600
does.
is excessive.
What does he do when California tells people you can't go to work?
What are we
What do I do if I'm sitting in California? Newsom is all these guys are saying you can't do shit. What does he do?
I get it.
New
I get
York
it.
says
But 600 was too much.
Cuomo says I need more hospital beds. The guy brings a freaking ship. Everything we went through, he was doing. This is a black swan. So you're going to put a black swan on a guy that we've never
I'm
experienced a black
not
swan?
talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Prior to
I'm
that,
saying
nobody
we
was-
paid workers too much to not work.
There
I'm
is
saying,
zero
I'm saying
disagreement there
a
with me and you.
Republican,
I don't
a
disagree
true
with you.
Republican would have
Yeah.
pushed back and said,
I don't
that's
disagree.
excessive. That is a Bernie Sanders level of stimulus that
cannot-
we're
you
injecting into the
cannot do-
economy. It's
You
excessive.
cannot do that.
Yes, you can.
No, you cannot do that. Let me explain to you why
Because
you cannot
now,
do that.
now people don't want to go back to work. All they needed was that time off.
Let me ask you a
to
question,
say, you know what?
Danielle.
I like
Danielle,
this not
Danielle,
working business.
What comes first? What comes first? The entrepreneur or the employee? What comes first?
The entrepreneur, of
Okay,
course.
then. So let me ask you this: what came first, the stimulus, or the protesting, or COVID, or the division? What came first? What came first?
COVID came first.
Okay, then. What do you want me to do?
Division, then COVID.
And
What do you want
division,
the
then
guy
COVID.
to do?
And
Now,
then to top
to-
everything off, since you're bringing up the subject of entrepreneurs, the CARES Act slaughtered small businesses in America. Slaughtered them.
When?
The CARES Act.
When?
May of 20
the 40% of,
May of
of
2020.
small businesses
Okay.
that are no longer with us
By the
because
way,
it was really
give me-
bad
give me-
legislation
okay,
that was signed into law.
Do the alternative. He does the. What's the alternative?
The alternative would have been something on a smaller scale.
Okay. Who's going to vote for that? Say he does the alternative. Then what happens?
He's the executive. He's got veto power.
Then what happens?
Then he says to the Democrats and the Republicans, go legislate
That's
something
not
that's
how
not
this works,
going
though.
to train
That's not
people
how
to not
this
work.
works. For freaking 3 years, they said it was Russia. For 3 years, they said it was Russia and
I'm
it wasn't
not
Russia.
talking about
But
that.
No. But
I'm
let me
talking
tell you where
about-
I'm going with this. Here's where I'm going with this. If he did that, no matter what this guy does, do you know how much it must suck to know that if you decide A or B, no matter what you decide, they're gonna shit on you, and they did.
Again,
No matter what this guy decides.
We're sitting here saying
So,
that $3.5 trillion is
I'm
excessive
not saying
today.
to do that. I'm on camera on podcast saying I don't support free money. When Andrew Yang was running, talking UBI, I went on the Hill. They went after me for me not supporting Andrew Yang's UBI. I don't support any of that. I'm not sitting here supporting any of that.
I don't
All
either,
I'm saying
but
to
I'm
you,
not the one who signed it into law. I'm not the one who signed paying
didn't have it. He
Americans
didn't have it.
an
He didn't have a
additional
choice. What else could he have done?
$2,500 a month
Danielle,
is excessive.
Give me 44 presidents before him. If they were in the same situation as COVID, do they get reelected?
Paying people. Yes, they could have. Again, but you're asking the question about fiscally conservative Republicans.
Because the issue...
He was not one of them. Very popular, but not one of them.
There's only one area where I'm going to go, where I'm going to be on your side. Here's only one area where I'm going to go. Here's where the only side I'm going to go, where I'm going to be on that side. He created unnecessary enemies. He created unnecessary enemies. I don't know a president in my lifetime that created unnecessary enemies. Sun Tzu says, when the enemy is asleep, don't wake his ass up. What the hell are you doing waking people up? What is the matter with you? And he did that for 4 years. Why are you waking unnecessary enemies up? He did that. That's why he didn't get reelected. He didn't get reelected because his policies weren't effective. He got reelected because he's saying, you're a moron, you're an idiot, you're a this. You don't convert people calling them morons for 4 years. Now, to his defense, what channel supported him? What newspaper supported him? What magazine supported him? Who supported him? What mainstream? Who supported this guy? Nothing.
Fox News.
It was game. And the moment they realized the Russia thing was a dossier from Hillary, everybody went silent. Oh, no, don't even talk about it. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.